Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Michael Kanalakis.
My name is Vigo.
What's going on, guys? B-Rod with NFL Playmakers.
Today we have a special guest. He just said his name. And you're watching New Era Jets. Today's episode is going to be a little different. We're actually going to go over our favorite Jets moment, most underrated Jet, favorite game, favorite moment, least favorite moment. Just today's going to be all about the Jets and how much we love them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was also thinking we could also give us the backstory of how I became a fan. I mean, it all starts somehow.
Nah, yeah. Y'all could go first. My story is kind of boring. I just became a fan. I just grew up liking the teams my brother liked, so I was just kind of just born into it, unfortunately.
Yeah, my mom and grandpa grew up in New York, so my mom moved to Chicago, which is where I'm from now. But I've been a Jet fan basically from her. I followed all the sport team my grandpa follows, so I'm a huge Jet and Met fan, unfortunately. So I've kind of stuck that out. Get a lot of crap from it from all the Chicago people, but I love the Jets to death.
Yeah, my dad's a huge Jets fan. My uncle, and I'm from New York too, so we like all New York sports. I'm a Jets, Knicks. I don't really have a favorite baseball team. I like Yankees and the Mets. I don't really follow hockey, but my favorite sports team is unfortunately all time is the Jets. It has been loving them since the day I was born, basically.
Yep, I've honestly, I think we're all around the same age, so I could probably say I've experienced probably three seasons that I've enjoyed. The 2009, 2010, and 2015. Those are the three
Yeah.
that stand out the most. But I can go first if we want. I was gonna go first for my favorite game of all time.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Oh
I
yeah,
have
go ahead.
2015 when we beat the Patriots Week 16.
Mhm.
Won, what was it, 26-20? That was a game Fitzpatrick almost threw for 300, three TDs.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Marshall had, I think, 8 catches for like 120, 2 TDs. That was when we had Powell and Chris Ivory, who two of my favorite Jets at running back because I also play running back, so I love both of them.
Word.
We also had Eric Decker at the time who had a TD that game. So yeah, we also, Demario Davis was our linebacker who kind of played exactly like Mosley has the last couple years, so I loved him too. I think he had 12 tackles that game or something, so that was one of my favorite games of all time, and obviously it's against the Patriots. That, as you know, we have struggled against the Patriots since I became a fan just in history, so that was a great game to win, and then unfortunately we lost to the Bills the next week, so that's a different story.
Nah, yeah. Like I
We also
remember watching that game, and I wasn't even in Jersey at the time. I was in Puerto Rico, so I was watching that game on the TV, basically, kind of like. I basically tuned in like right when overtime started. So
Yep.
as soon as I heard the Jets and the Pats were actually going to overtime, I was like, oh, hold on. And then, yo, when Decker made that catch, yo, oh my God, yo, me and my brother were going in absolutely like just nuts. But like, yeah, no, you mentioned like Chris Ivory and Bilal Powell. I guess I'll go next as far as my favorite Jets moment. I had the game against the Pats as well in 2015. Obviously, I think all Jets fans, because at the time. That was another, kind of slump we had against the Patriots, but thankfully, we broke it again with Aaron Rodgers recently. But for my favorite Jets moment, I think honestly, I think that game where our defense was dancing on the Bills, that one moment in 2017 where they were playing Uzi, and
yeah.
our defense was just going crazy, just that was like, because that was a moment in time, where we had Josh McCown as our QB. We weren't expecting to win that game, and then we blow them out. But then another thing too is that like we saw the Jets actually have fun for once. So like that was probably like one of my favorite moments. And plus
Yeah,
like Uzi during that time period was crazy. So
Well, now, yeah, I remember that game too. My favorite game is also because of the past, but not 2015. It's actually the division round 2009 or 2010, I believe, when the Pats were the number one seed, home back in the Mark Sanchez era. That game was insane. No one had us winning, and that's the game where I don't even remember Bart Scott had his famous speech. Can't wait. Oh, that was a crazy game because I remember the week before we who do we beat? I forgot. It was either was it the Chargers or the Colts? It was
2009 or 2010?
I forgot. It's after that we went against the Steelers in the championship. So I think
I'm
2010.
pretty sure it's the Colts.
Yeah, the Colts. Yeah, and Nick Folk had a game-winning field goal. Huh. And speaking about Nick Folk, we do need a kick right now. He's a free agent, so
I hope we either draft a kicker or, like you said, Nick Folk. Nick
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
Folk is
hoping
still dead shot right now.
he still
I'm
got it.
hoping we
So
bring in a kicker in the draft late round.
Yeah, I want the guy to Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah,
Pittsburgh.
I mean, dude, kicking was atrocious last year.
Greg the leg, man.
Greg the leg.
It's a shame because the season, what was it, not last year, so 23. Like he was one of the best kickers in the league if you just look statistically.
Yeah.
And it's like that was my biggest frustration with the Jets. Is like we had the stats in 23. We just unfortunately went through an injury like that, and we had to rely on Zach Wilson. And then it's like
Yeah, for another year.
from last year,
Yeah.
everything that went right in 23 went wrong last year. Like we had a top 3 defense, and then all of a sudden we're 28th in the league. Like it's just it's stuff you can't predict unless you're a Jets fan. Like you would not expect that as a fan of any other team besides the Jets.
Nah, yeah, like I mean, I don't really have as many like cool, like memorable moments as you guys do. Because I mean, me personally, I mean, I'm 20 years old, so I would say like the year I actually started to like pay attention, and watch football was probably Geno Smith's rookie year. So me as a Jets fan, I haven't seen a Jets playoff team really with my own eyes, actually like paying attention. So I basically joined in at the worst possible time.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking back at this, like you mentioned whatchamacallit, you mentioned uh sorry, well, you were talking about 2009, 2010. We have these favorite moments and all that, but like we'll get into this as well. A part of those favorite moments as well is these Jets players. So the thing we'll get into next is our favorite Jets players, and I guess I'll go first with this. My favorite, I would say my favorite Jet of all time currently is Darrelle Revis. Pretty basic, I know, but as far as like sleeper, just players that I just remembered and I'm just very fond of, the first one might be unexpected, but Muhammad Wilkerson, that was my dog, man.
Yeah,
Especially in Madden, like bro was just nasty with it. I would always get sacks with bro, but Brandon Marshall, obviously in the whole like Ryan Fitzpatrick area. That was just a fun era of the Jets, and I hope I think we will get that back, obviously, with Justin Fields and Gary Wilson reuniting. But what were some of your guys' favorite Jet players that you guys had?
You want to go first? I'm a second.
Yeah, mine's kind of like I'm kind of in the same boat as you. Like I said, with my favorite game, like that 2015. Because I'm also 20, so like I've been a Jet fan my whole life, and I do remember like moments of that 2009, 2010 run. But like 2013, 14 is kind of when I really started.
Like Geno's rookie year, yeah.
So like the 2015 year was just it was pure vibes. Like I loved Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker. Like I had Chris Ivory as one of my favorite players. Powell was great, but like you said, like yours was Darrelle Revis, my favorite Jet of all time. I did one on defense and one on offense. I would say my favorite defensive player of all time was Antonio Cromartie. I think he was a great player. I mean, he had 13 picks for us and 189 tackles in his 5-year run. So like, that's insane for just being with us for that sort of a time. But I just love the energy and stuff he brought to the team. And I like obviously Darrelle Revis is one of my favorites too, and he's, in my opinion, one of the greatest to touch the field. But I thought Cromartie was one of the greatest too. And then offensively, I mean, I know a lot of Jets respect him, but Nick Mangold, I mean, he had a 10-year, 11-year career, and it was all for the Jets. Like, that is so rare nowadays that you get a player to stay with your team for the full tenure of their career. And especially as a Jet fan, we don't really get to experience that. Where, like, a lot of these veterans, when their career is washed up and at the end, they're coming to us now. Whereas he started with us and he finished with us. But there's something special about that. And he was one of my favorite players to watch. I mean, he established what the O-line should look like. And now, up until recently, our O-line's kind of been broke. But now we're finally getting back to that kind of era. Yeah, that's
Speaking about Nick Mangold.
Wow.
He signed my jacket, actually, one day.
That's so cool. I was hoping we brought him in as a O-line coach or like an assistant O-line coach.
Bro, his hands were ginormous. Like when I shook bro's hand, oh my goodness, bro.
God.
I was like, God damn.
I'm happy though that like you guys can speak on it too. The O-line we built last year and that we're going to continue to build. Like we're getting back to that dominant O-line of.
Yeah, we gotta stack the trenches again.
Yeah, exactly, and that's so important, especially with the team. So, yeah, those would be my favorites too. What about you, Elijah?
For me, I'm going to sound basic too, but you see him right here, Darrelle Revis. my favorite. I love seeing corner because my dad also play corner, so I love seeing corners like people like. That's why I like Sauce too.
Yeah.
Like he was so fun to watch. I mean, I remember his pick six against the Bills. He has a few of them too. I mean, in my opinion, he's a top 3 corner of all time.
Oh,
yeah. No, without a doubt.
His 2009. I posted it when I first started my Jets account. It was one of my first posts ever. Darrelle Revis' 2009 season. It has to go down as one of the greatest cornerback seasons.
Yeah,
ever.
I don't think it could be replicated. I mean, Ocho has 0 yards.
Yeah,
yeah.
And
he even said it.
Dudes he was going against in 2000, there's great talent now, but we're talking like Chad Ochocinco. Like those are Hall of Famers, you know.
And Megatron too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Megatron, T.O., Reggie Wayne. Who else? Andre Johnson, I think too.
He had every receiver in a box. Like he. I mean, me and Elijah talked about this our last episode with Sauce, and I know Glenn touched on it this morning a little bit. How he thinks Sauce can get back to the best player in the league, which we were saying is 100% impossible. But those first 2 seasons, Sauce said it was kind of that same thing where, I'm not going to compare those 2 seasons because Revis was in a land of his own. But, those first 2 years, Sauce really was holding these big name receivers we're seeing, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill. They were not getting more than 30, 40 yards in a game. Like, they would be lucky to see 30. Like,
I saw your guys' clip of y'all talking about, how Sauce is right there with Surtain, and that's why I keep defending Sauce to this day, because literally, the year before last, he was right there with Surtain, arguably CB1 in the entire league. So I don't know why people are, switching up just because of one, off season. So, that's just another example of, people just jumping on a boat of, opinions. But, like we were just saying with, Revis's 2009 season, I mean, another name that we forgot to mention, Randy Moss. He locked up even twice. Not just once, but twice. But, Revis definitely, it was a little sadder to see, towards the end of his career, a little banged up and injured, not performing to his old ability. But, still gave us moments. I remember that Redskins game as well. He had that, I believe he had a clutch pick for us. I think Ryan almost got hurt that game too. If you guys remember that game against the Redskins at the time that they were called. But I mean, segueing into this next topic here, as far as our least favorite Jets moment, I think it's pretty easy to say. I think my least favorite Jets moment, and I think it was probably the most embarrassing moment as a Jets fan, was Darnold's ghost game.
Yep.
And now, when I watched this game against the Patriots on a Thursday night, I kind of remember it being kind of a hyped up, not a hyped up game, but I mean, the Jets are playing the Patriots on prime time. Let's see if we can actually get it done. And then I'm at this big gathering, with my dad and his friends, and the Jets are getting spanked. And the next thing you know, Darnold is talking about seeing ghosts. And I'm like, brother, what does that mean? You're an
ghost
quarterback.
No, that was a very tough watch.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, and then Belichick was just toying with us at the end of the game, just playing with the clock. That kind of sealed the deal for me. That was a really bad game.
Yeah, going off kind of what you said, I did have that. I had 3 in mind. I had the Darnold seeing ghosts. I had obviously the infamous butt fumble, and then the Hail Mary against the Dolphins on Black Friday. I mean.
How did I forget about that?
I actually have a better Hail Mary than that one. You guys remember when we were tanking for Trevor Lawrence and we sent an all-out blitz on a Hail Mary against the Raiders, and Henry Ruggs takes it to the house?
Right past the safety.
That was hilarious, yo. It was unbelievable. It was just that bad. It just showed how bad coached that team was at the time.
That was insane. I'm telling you because the way I see it was when if you're not a Jets fan, for me, obviously growing up in the Chicago area, it's a lot of Bear fans. Even when I'm at school now in Wisconsin, people look at me when I'm wearing my Jet gear around school and they're like, "Why are you a Jets fan?" And I have to explain.
We didn't choose this life.
Yeah, and it's obviously I get completely destroyed by all my friends, even my parents' friends about being a Jets fan. It's you see all this stuff on the butt fumble was probably one of the most famous ones to clown us about, but. I'm telling you, that Hail Mary, I was watching the game with my whole family. It was probably one of the few moments I genuinely had tears in my eyes. I was there's no way this just happened. Because we were low key in the game and we shouldn't have been. Like we
Yeah,
had
and
no
then they
right
just
being in that game.
take a pick
And
six to the house right before the half for no reason.
that's my biggest pet peeve these last couple of years with the Jets is like games we shouldn't be in, we somehow stay in, and then it's like they suck you in until the end.
Yeah,
and
they
then,
reel you in, and then
yeah.
boom, gotcha. And then
Yeah.
I saw that
punch
and I'm
you.
like, dude, like
Yeah.
No.
a Hail Mary gets taken back for a pick. Like who does that happen to? Like
I've
it's
never
only
seen
the
that.
Jets.
Like speaking about that, I remember watching. It was a Black Friday game actually, because I remember we got an interception. It was like 1 or 2 seconds on the clock, so like Saul was like just sending Hail Mary. I'm like, okay, and like if it gets picked off, then they'll tackle him. So so I see him. Tim Boyle threw a bomb. Well, I even consider it a bomb because it's just normal throw in my opinion. And it was I remember Javon Holland now on the Giants picks it off, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna tackle him. I'm not too worried. He gets past like the 50. I see like nobody. I'm like, okay, tackle him. And then he gets past like 3 people. And then now he has like 1 man to beat. And it was Tim Boyle. He gets crossed. And Garrett's almost catching up to him. And then he takes up.
Garrett was going to get him.
He could have gotten him easily. Then I'm like, dude, are you kidding? Like, you cannot make that up. Like, how could a Hail Mary possibly turn into a pick six? That was like a 100-yard pick six too. Like, how could you make that up? Like, for my least favorite.
I mean, obviously, we can all speak. We've had a lot of low moments as Jet fans, but that one, because I mean, like,
it's up there.
Anyone, like any normal fan who's not a Jet fan would probably say, "Oh, your least favorite moment's probably the Rodgers thing," just because, like, we really did have Super Bowl aspirations.
Yeah,
and, like,
I was there too, man.
Yes,
like
that's
you could you could hear a pin drop in that stadium, man, because we all knew what we had to deal with. We had to deal with another year of Zach Wilson, which arguably you could say which shouldn't have been on the team in the first place.
Exactly.
So,
and it's like I was talking about earlier, like we had, like statistically, we had the number 1 defense in 2023. Like we had pieces, and all these dudes were playing at the peak of their performance. So it's like, I remember the reason that season pissed me off so much is because I was dying on the hill the whole offseason to my family, to my friends. I was posting it like I genuinely believed the Jets were coming out of the AFC, and I kept saying we were going to win the Super Bowl, but even just make the Super Bowl. I really thought we were going to make the Super Bowl, and it's like for that to happen, and then it's like the thing that even made it worse was obviously Gibson's game-winning punt return. Like that was sick, and then it's like we showed moments through the year where we actually were a decent team, but we couldn't get over that hump. Like our defense was holding the teams to 14-15, and we were losing, and it's like that was my biggest pet peeve. Is how as an offense can you not give your defense at least 14 points?
Exactly. Like,
and it's like that year just felt so wasted, which not Rodgers' fault. Very unfortunate that didn't work out, but I mean that moment obviously sticks out. But yeah, the Hail Mary and butt fumble are the two that I think will probably stick with me for a while.
For me, my least favorite, there's a lot. I mean, I'm surprised no one mentioned this. Sam Darnold's first ever pass against the Lions.
Yep, the Lions.
Pick six, and that was a primetime game too, right? That was a primetime game, right?
Yeah, it was a Monday Night Football game, I believe.
Even worse, a pick six. I'm like,
always on the national stage. We're always on the primetime when that stuff happens.
And I to be honest, this is what I hope we get for this year for week 1. I hope we get the Pats week 1. Just boom, right then and there. Just let's see who got it, who not. Like new regime versus new regime. I pray we get the Pats at week 1. But my fault, bro. I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue.
Nah, you good. Oh, but I'm thinking about I was gonna say the Buffalo too, but I'm thinking like there's a bunch of like. I don't want to be like say like a recent one like Corley right before the end zone stuff like that, but the Hail Mary is definitely up there too. It's definitely up there. Like I don't think I've ever seen a Hail Mary, but besides at Madden, a Hail Mary turns to a pick six. Like the fact that I got to win it, I almost went to that game too, and I was watching that live with my dad. Now I was screaming at the TV like it was crazy. Like we were in the game too, just the offense like.
Yeah, it's a game we shouldn't have been in, but we were in, and that's so annoying.
And just to be honest, I love Salah, but like I blame it on him because like I don't know why he thought benching Zach Wilson for Tim Boyle will make a difference. Like I don't care how much experience he has.
This is a side note, but the fact that Tim Boyle is still on an NFL, like I'm not the dude to hate on players, but let's just call it as it is. The fact that Tim Boyle is an NFL quarterback is a disgrace to the game.
Exactly, he's basically at free money, like. And you got people like Trey Lance.
I'm going straight off stats. Like, this is nothing against him as a man. I'm talking straight football player. Like, you look at those stats, and it's like, how? like all you've proven in your career is that you just throw picks. Like that's all his stats say.
Yeah.
Like I understand maybe bringing him in as a practice squad, maybe he does have ball experience, so like maybe mentoring a younger dude in terms of going through progressions and reads, but the amount of picks he throws, like I just don't understand how he keeps getting signed to squad.
He's been doing that since college. He went to UConn. I remember the exact stat too. 1 touchdown and for like 13 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
And he transferred to Kentucky, I think. And he got a similar season too, but I don't know how he. The big question is how did he make it to like an NFL like team?
Yeah, he always has more. He always has more picks than touchdowns.
Yeah, like I don't know why he thought it would be a good idea to Ben Zach Wilson. I mean, he was playing bad too, but like, be honest.
Yeah.
Who are you gonna put? Like he was our best quarterback we could have put in. Like, unfortunately, like really, like, whew. But that's for my least favorite.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess just to wrap it up here, guys. As far as the underrated Jet, I had Chris Ivory, just a memorable running back. Just growing up watching this team, I remember his games against the Dolphins. He always ran hard. He was actually, I believe, top 5 in the league in rushing at one point. So, I had Chris Ivory. Who did you guys have?
I kind of had 2, but I also had Ivory in there a little bit. But for me, like a little throwback. Actually, like a major throwback. It was the first Jet jersey I owned. Jericho Cotchery. I remember I got this extra large jersey passed on from my grandpa, and I went to the Jets Bears game in 2018 when they had Trubisky.
Yeah.
And I was wearing my Cotchery jersey, and I was getting flamed by all these Bear fans. Like, everyone's disrespecting him. I'm like, I pulled it up. He played for us 2004 to 2010. He had 300 catches, 4,000 yards, and 18 TDs over those 6 years. Like. I think he was a pretty underrated receiver in my opinion, and I mean it was the first jersey I had, so it's kind of like some nostalgia factor too. So I respect him obviously. And then we talked about it a little bit. Eric Decker, I think the years he provided with us were. I mean I loved him as a route runner too, but in his 3 years with us, he had 2,000 yards and 19 TDs. So like, I mean just that 2015 era was so cool to be a fan of. But yeah, those 2 would be my most underrated. I mean I kind of just stuck with receivers, but those are my 2.
For my I have a few actually. Well, underrated. This is my dad's favorite player. Is also one of mine. Curtis Martin. I think one of the best running.
Go.
Would you consider him a top 10 running back all time?
Top 10 all time?
You know what? Not top 10. 15. Top 15.
I could give him 15.
Yeah, I'd give him. I wouldn't give him 10, but I would say he is. I would say he's underrated because he's a Jet. If that makes sense, like people outside of our fan base
was also a Patriot too.
But he did provide. I mean, I think he's underrated, but I wouldn't say top 10. But I think he falls probably the 12, 13 range.
Yeah, he was just amazing with us. I actually have another one. It's probably no one really talk about the Brickashaw Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
The GOAT.
Ferguson was good.
Yeah,
I got a picture of him too, and you won't believe this. Every game he's never missed a game in his entire career. In his entire career, he's only missed a single snap, and that was on a trick play. And to me, that's just like we haven't had a franchise left tackle in like who knows how long. But now, Olu Fashanu, from what it looked like, he could be our franchise left tackle.
Yeah, we need that to work out.
Yeah. Now he's in a right tackle.
I think I got faith in Olu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do this before we wrap it up because I mean, obviously, we just highlighted all of our main, Jet stuff, and a lot of it's recent stuff, 10 years ago, all this. So I think to wrap it up, just kind of, I know it's hard to tell right now because, we don't have the draft or anything, but with the way our roster stands, the new regime, the moves we've seen, how do you guys feel about our season going forward right now? And in terms of the division too, like the other moves made within our division.
I think the Patriot. I don't know. I think the Stephon Diggs signing is pretty risky for the Patriots because we saw him injured last year. So that for them is just really going to be make or break. I mean, I'm sure they're going to add another wide receiver in the draft too, but like, I don't know. I would expect the Patriots to just be a lot better in our division this year. I wouldn't say they're just going to be, top of the league right away, but I mean, Dolphins with Tua. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this division is still pretty, open because besides the Bills, I don't really think there's like a clear-cut team that's just better than the Jets straight up. So it's just the same thing as last year.
Yeah, I was gonna say because this was just my personal yes, the Bills have proven they're top of the league. They keep making the playoffs, but I mean, it's probably because we're the same division, but I really don't have that much respect for the Bills as a team.
Yeah, I mean, they
Like,
suck against us at home, so.
Yeah, like Josh Allen, he's great and all, but I do definitely think, with the new coaching staff we run, and as long as the draft goes semi-decent the way I think it will, I don't think it's crazy to say we could definitely compete in our division, but I will say, like, I hate to say it, but, like, the Patriots have had a pretty good offseason.
Yeah.
Really
but
good.
I will say, like, if I were to rank it right now, you're probably looking at Bills 1, Patriots 2, us 3, Dolphins 4.
Yeah.
But that 2 through 4, now I'm gonna include the Dolphins. I'm gonna give them some slack. I don't think the Dolphins are gonna be that good just because Tua is always up in the air, just his health, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But 2 through 4, I feel like these last couple of years could be interchangeable with like the Bills hovering at that one spot, but. It's not, like, ridiculous to say that us or the Patriots could spike out of nowhere and maybe compete for that one spot, too. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, we've seen years like that. Like, you look at the Commanders last year, they came out of nowhere. They were 4-13 and then just jumped to 12-5. Like, it's doable, but it takes the whole team. It takes the ownership, coaching staff. You got to hit right on the draft. Dudes have to buy in. So, I like our staff. I like what they're building. I like the approach we took in free agency. Now everything turns to the draft. Got to hit it right in the draft and then get down and run.
It's definitely like a prove it or move it season for the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but from what it looks like, I mean, Muji's he's signing like a lot of like depth players, young players. I mean, it could easily change in the draft, but currently in our division, from what it looks like, I hate to say it, the Patriots look like from who do you sign? The Patriots look like the best team. I mean, obviously Buffalo, who's been in the playoffs like every single year, they got a bunch of weapons. I mean. They're even looking to draft trade for another weapon, either Chris Olave or Jordan Addison. I don't know if you just seen that.
Yeah, I saw the hypothetical trade for Olave, but I mean, I've seen like 10 hypothetical trades for Olave at this
Exactly.
point. So
I
don't really know
think he's just too injury prone.
Yeah, I think that's
Jets
what
to
teams are
invest
take the
into
bullet
him.
on.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they have a lot of weapons, but like but Buffalo they got James Cook, of course. We were just talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
Shakir, is he a wide receiver one? Would you consider him?
I would call him like a 2.
Yeah, I'd call him receiver 2.
And then Keon Coleman, he had a pretty good. He was injured for a few games, but he did pretty good.
I definitely will say the division should be more competitive this year, and
Definitely.
For sure.
I think it puts us in a good spot for once because, like last year, you look at it, like we're just like the last 2 years, but obviously 23 Rodgers got hurt, so it's not really the Jets like our fault, but. We've actually had, like, for the first time in a while, we've actually had expectations to, like,
we were in the spotlight.
And it's like, going into next season, like you guys have seen, we have the third lowest win total set at 5.5.
5.5, yeah.
We don't really have expectations with a new regime. Like, that's kind of something that stands out to me that's like...
That's a good thing, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that, where it's like, okay, we built a young team. Our stars are young. You just brought in a new staff, like, this is great. The whole league doesn't think we're going to do anything. Go out there and, everyone's got to earn it. You got to show it. And that's why I think it puts us in a good spot where it's like, if we win more than 5 games, we already shocked the league. So it's like, I would be very shocked if we don't win more than 5. But obviously going out there and doing it is a different thing. But I think this should definitely motivate our players. And I'm excited for this season.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to be out to hella games this year and excited to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm going to try to go at least like, last year I went to 4 games, so I'll try to go like 2 or 3, depending on how like the tickets go. But I'm for sure I'm going to be at the games, just supporting our team. Just hopefully it's good games. I mean, I've been saying the last 2 years I was excited going into the season. Then obviously things changed. So I mean I'm going to support my team no matter what, because I'm forced to like the team, man. As much as it's been bad, I enjoy watching the team.
Exactly.
Facts.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for having me on your show. Appreciate it.
Hope you enjoyed it, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, make sure go to Instagram, NFLPlaymakerz. It's right there. You don't see the name. But yeah, that's pretty much all we gotta say. This is New Era Jets. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Adios.